So you're thinking about selling your home. You might think, it's an easy process, especially with the high demand we have right now. You might also think, well, I watch all those HGTV shows. I can do this myself. Well, it's not that easy. Whether it's the first time you're selling a home or it's not your first rodeo, you are still susceptible to making mistakes. And if you don't make these mistakes, you will sell your home for faster, for more, and with the least amount of stress. As a property owner and a real estate professional that's been selling real estate for over 18 years, here are the top mistakes that I see sellers make. Number 1, doing it yourself, or even worse, hiring the wrong real estate professional. I know, after seeing all these shows, you may think, I can do this myself. How hard can it be? There are so many things behind the curtains in a real estate transaction that it's just not making the property look nice and putting it out there for buyers to see. There is a whole lot more that happens before, during a transaction, and even after. Plus, it's also one of your biggest assets that you have in your life. Did you know that those who sell their property on their own tend to sell their property for about 7% less than they would have if they hired a real estate professional? So this one time, I met a really sweet couple here in Long Beach that was selling their beach property on their own. It was crazy, a nightmare. They were taking hundreds of phone calls, not knowing how to coordinate a ton of showings, and ultimately they were super stressed out. Once we met, they shared with me what was important to them, their timeline, and we created a pathway forward to get their property sold in the least amount of times and for the most. Once they hired my team and me, we ended up selling the property for $55,000 over in just 1 week. And then in other scenarios, sellers end up hiring the wrong real estate professional. All right, let me get real with you. Hiring the wrong real estate professional can cost you a lot of money and a lot of headaches. 2 out of 3 Americans already don't trust real estate professionals, and rightfully so, because most average real estate agents out there are just looking for the next property to sell, really only caring about the commission and not going through what's exactly needed to make sure your property is showcased and really understanding what you're looking to accomplish. Let's face it, you get what you pay for when you're not hiring the right person for the job. Number 2, waiting until the last minute to contact a real estate professional. Even if you've already decided to work with a real estate professional, it's really important to initiate the process very early on. So if you have a time frame in mind, bringing a real estate professional early on will help alleviate and mitigate a lot of the things that need to happen before your property goes on the market. And also creating a clear strategy and, of course, an exit plan. For example, I had a client who contacted me and said, Gia, I'm ready to list my home. I've done all these upgrades. Come on over so you can take a look at it. When I arrived to the property, I've realized that my client had poured her heart and soul into the upgrades, bringing a lot of her taste into it. 2 things happened. 1, the client had invested her own personal taste into the paint colors as well as some of the upgrades. And 2, didn't really realize how much return on investment these upgrades were going to bring her. You see, buyers like to walk into a property and see it as a canvas so they can bring their own taste. And it's a lot easier to sell a home when it's not so personalized. Also, if the client had brought me early on in the process, I would have been able to give her suggestions, recommendations as to what to invest that would bring her the most return on investment. Which brings us to the number 3 mistake that sellers make: not investing in the right items that bring the most return on investment. Many homeowners don't really understand what are those items that are going to bring you the most return on investment. For example, sprucing your exterior, your landscape is one of the top return on investments that you will get. Another item that brings the most return on investment is changing fixtures around the house and hardware. For example, changing your hardware, adding new light fixtures. They're easy to do and they will bring you the most return on investment. And when you invest in these correct items, we're going to be able to market the home to the right buyer, sell your property for more with the least amount of stress. Again, make sure to choose the right professional, don't wait too long to call, and make sure you're investing in the right items that are going to bring you the most return on investment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.